what is attitude? Attitude is how we respond or react to a given situation. Whether we respond or react positively or negatively. The literal meaning of attitude is height. And the meaning of this lesson is your attitude decides upon the heights you reach in your life. Now, there is a life story of a person, great person, a motivational speaker. Imagine having no arms to stretch in the morning, to help you stretch that itch, to allow you to wrap your arms around your loved ones. Our arms do a great thing for us. We stretch in the morning. As we wake up from bed, we stretch our body and we feel comfortable. Supposing we don't have arms. And also, with our arms, we hug our beloved ones, our grandfather, our mother, our father. Supposing we don't have arms. Imagine having no legs to kick pebbles. Pebbles are small stones. Down the street, to walk or run, to bicycle or skateboard, or get you from point A to point B. Now imagine a person does not have legs. He cannot walk. He cannot kick the pebbles. Pebbles are small stones down the street. Okay? And he cannot bicycle. He cannot skateboard. Okay? And imagine both at once. Means, imagine not having arms and not having legs. Then imagine both at once, which is what Nick Vujicic has faced his whole life. The person's name is, the motivational speaker is Nick Vujicic. An Australian born in Melbourne. And he does not have arms, he does not have legs. Have you heard something like this before? Nick Vujicic was born with no arms and legs, but he does not let the details stop him. What are the details? Having no arms, having no legs. And he was born without arms, without legs. And these details does not stop him from doing anything great. He did so many great things and he was a great motivational speaker, inspirational speaker. He became later an inspirational speaker to give inspirations to those people who were born like him. The brave 26-year-old who is mainly a torso. Who is a torso? Torso is a person without having legs and arms. And he was brave, he was courageous. He plays football and golf, swims and surfs despite having no limbs. What are limbs? Our arms, our legs are limbs. In science, we have studied that human body is divided into head, trunk and limbs. And he does not have limbs, but in spite of that, he can play football and golf and swims and surfs. Nick has a small foot on his left hip, which helps him balance and enables him to kick. He uses his one foot to type, write with a pen and pick things up between his toes. There is a small foot-like attachment to his left hip, and with that he learned to type, hold a pen and do several things. I call it my chicken drumstick, joked Nick. Nick jokingly called that foot-like attachment to his left hip his chicken drumstick. What is chicken drumstick? We know chicken leg pieces. Chicken drumstick is the lower part of the leg piece of a chicken is chicken drumstick. Jokingly, Nick called that foot-like thing his chicken drumstick. Who was born in Melbourne, Australia, but now lives in Los Angeles. I would be lost without it. And the chicken drumstick, that is the foot-like attachment to his left hip, helps him in many ways, and he would be lost without that foot-like attachment. Water sports aren't Nick's only thing. Nick can swim, kicking with the foot-like attachment. It is not the only thing. He also plays golf with a club tucked under his chin. Cricket, bat, tennis, racket, shuttle, racket, golf, club. Okay. And Nick also plays golf with the club tucked under his chin. If this is the golf club, he touches the golf club under the chin and he plays golf. And he is a huge fan of the English Premier League. A great fan of English Premier League. His parents decided not to send him to a special school. A decision, he said, was very hard for him, but which may have been the best decision they could have made for him. Children, there are many people, many children also, who are born with some disabilities. For their sake, some special schools are there, like rehabilitation centers. But Nick's parents did not want to send him to a special school. Yet first Nick thought it was a tough decision taken by his parents. Nick's parents wanted to join him in a normal school. It was even tougher because in a normal school, the other children, they will tease and bully. Nick, and Nick had to suffer a lot. But it proved to be useful later in his life because as Nick was admitted to a normal school, he became independent. The logic is very clear here. If Nick were to be joined in a special school, people like him, children like him, would be full of the school and they would be mugging up in self-pity and depending on others for everything, crying, weeping, that and all. But Nick's parents took him to a normal school. At first it was difficult, later Nick became independent. When Nick was born, his father was so shocked that he left the hospital room to vomit. When Nick was newly born and the child had no arms and no legs, his father, Nick's father, looked at the child and left the hospital ward to vomit. His distraught mother, distraught means tensed up and anxious mother, could not bring herself to hold him until he was 4 months old. Until Nick became 4 months old, his mother did not even touch him. His disability came without any medical explanation, a rare occurrence called phocomelia. This disability, what is this disability? Having no arms, having no legs. That is torso. Medical term is phocomelia. a genetic disorder. And Nick and his parents spent many years asking why this cruel trick would happen to them. My mother was a nurse and she did everything right during pregnancy, but she still blamed herself, he said. My mother was a nurse. Whose mother was a nurse? Nick's mother was a nurse, hospital nurse. And she took all care of the child in the womb. But why this cruel trick happened to them, they could not understand. It was so hard for them, but right from the start, they did their best to make me independent. It was very hard for the parents, but right from the start, right from the beginning, they wanted to make Nick independent, not depending on others for anything. My dad put me in the water at 18 months and gave the courage to learn how to swim. My dad, whose dad, Nick's dad, put him in water when Nick was 18 months old, and that gave Nick all courage to become a good swimmer. I also got really into football and football and skateboarding. I totally love the English Premier League. Nick's father was a computer programmer and an accountant, and he taught his little son how to type with his toe at just 6 years old. His mom invented a special plastic device that meant he could hold a pen and a pencil. And Nick's mother and father did everything to make him independent. Despite the risk of being bullied, his parents insisted on his attending mainstream school. Nick's parents, they insisted on joining Nick in a mainstream school, not a special school, because they wanted to see their son independent. It was the best decision they could have made for me as Nick, who later achieved a degree in financial planning and real estate. As he joined the mainstream school, later he acquired a degree in financial planning and real estate. It was very hard, but it gave me independence. Nick, who was teased and bullied, had an electric wheelchair for mobility and a team of carers to help him. For mobility, Nick had an electric wheelchair and a team of carers. Who are carers? Who take care of him are carers. I was deeply depressed when I was 8 years old, he said. I went to my mom crying and told her I wanted to kill myself. Nick was crying when he was 8 years old. He went to his mom or mother, and he said he wanted to kill himself. He wanted to commit suicide because he could find no meaning in his life.